This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Oakland Athletics.
Rooker, it's a fly ball to deep center. Robert going back at the track. He will turn and watch it fly.
And 29 other MLB clubs.
Donis Garcia sends one the other way. That sends Caray back. He's at the line. And the legend grows. Ronald Acuna, another milestone in a truly historic season.
Julio with an absolute nuke out to left field.
It's Glaber Day. And like a good Glaber, Torres is there.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe. From humidors to Stuff Plus to walk-off dingers, we have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the last week of A's Cast Live Cactus League edition. Because next week, we got the Bay Bridge Series, and then we got opening day against the Guardians and Stephen Vogt.
It's coming fast, as they say.
Right? I love it. Today, I got my A's St. Patrick's Day shirt. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. Obviously, we were not on the air. This is one of my favorite shirts. I don't remember what year this was, spring training. It was obviously a few years ago, but I had to bust it out today because it is one of my favorite A's shirts, spring training. We are the perfect team for St. Patrick's Day, spring training, because it just looks so natural, right? Because we have the Kelly green, and like the White Sox are wearing the green hats. It just all these teams that were wearing it yesterday, just doesn't look right. It's cool that everybody does it, and obviously Major League Baseball, I saw, at least on Instagram, I'm sure they were doing it everywhere. They were putting out the hats because everybody had a St. Patrick's Day hat. But for us, it looks natural. It's a good fit.
Yeah, it's like when the Red Sox wear their yellow City Connect uniforms. It just doesn't make sense.
When they look like the UCLA Bruins.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, it's very, very weird. Tournament time, by the way. I don't think the Bruins made it, but
they look like it's that baby blue and yellow. They look like the UCLA.
They use it for something I don't know if it's for the Boston Marathon
That's
or whatnot.
Big Ten UCLA, not Pac-12. That's Big Ten Conference UCLA.
Yeah. So yeah, March Madness starts Thursday. Actually, I think playing games start in a couple of days, but March Madness Thursday.
Is that Thursday?
Yeah.
Playing games start tomorrow, right?
I think there's playing games tomorrow. Then I think there's one Wednesday, but the first games are Thursday morning.
I hate that. I want to fill out my bracket the night before. I don't want the whole. I got to fill out the bracket now. I need some time.
Yeah, well,
I don't like the playing game. I don't like the playing game.
It used to just be the 16 seeds were playing it, but now it's you got teams playing, like Boise's playing for one of the 10, like the 10 seed.
It's terrible. The playing game stinks. You're either in the tournament or you're not. I mean, does that really add extra? I mean, we already have all the excitement you need. March Madness is as big it's the second biggest event other than the Super Bowl. We don't need an extra random Tuesday and Wednesday game. It all starts Thursday. As we already documented, it's the biggest event in Nevada. In legal sports gaming, it's huge. It dwarfs the Super Bowl. More money will be bet legally on the NCAA tournament than the Super Bowl by a lot. I know people that actually, guys for years, they've switched back and forth either between Vegas and Reno who actually go for the tournament. That's 4 days of betting basketball all day Thursday, all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. Man, that is so many games. If you're hot, you could win a ton. If you lose, you can lose the kids' college tuition.
So, yes, well said. And good luck to the only local team that made it, the St. Mary's Gales, 5 seed.
What did my Gales end up at?
They're 5 seed. You know they got to play round 1 in Spokane?
That's weak.
Yeah, well, especially.
You beat the Zags in the regular season. You beat the Zags in the conference tourney, and you only get a 5 seed for Alex Jensen, our beloved Alex Jensen.
Guess what seed Gonzaga got?
They didn't get better than a 5.
They got a 5 also.
Oh, my God.
So St. Mary's.
This seeding thing's rigged. You know what they're doing? They give all the high seeds to the teams. Like if you did well in the SEC, because they know you're going to travel. There's so much of that with the bowl games in the tournament. Don't think they don't look at who travels, who's filling hotels, who's buying the merch. It's a business.
Yeah, so they're playing. St. Mary's is playing Grand Canyon, Jacob Wilson's alma mater. I think they end up being like 29.
You're going down, young shortstop. You're going down.
The Gales are they're good, and Alex very confident. I talked to him yesterday. He's very confident. He gave me the
Grand Canyon. They have a basketball team.
He gave me the if we play well, we can win. Well, thanks, Captain Obvious. I assumed if you played bad, you probably wouldn't win. But
well, as the great Mark Jackson once said, it's a make or miss league.
Is that what the streets were telling you?
Yeah, it's a make or miss league. I would like to say thank you to our good friend Mike Farron. Mike is one of the great hosts in baseball and play-by-play guys. Mike, if you're a fan of this show and you watch this show, Mike is very generous with his time, comes on with us all the time. He's the host of the Power Alley, which I think from a national perspective is as good as any baseball show, all baseball show year-round, Sirius XM, Channel 89. He had the big broadcasters party. So after Johnny and I yesterday did the game, we went over to Mike. It was a rib buffet.
Johnny sent me the photo.
Pork, beef, lamb. He had I had to take a picture of it because my wife thinks I have too many smokers. I have 2 Traegers. I got the barbecue. I probably have too much. I have the new Weber. I've got 4. My wife thinks it's too much. Farron's got like 5 different things going. I'm like, you know what? I love it. And his wife didn't complain. She didn't put out a charcuterie board. She had a full table of just cured meats, cheeses. It was just delightful. So the Farron family put out a spread. All the broadcasters from the Cactus League, all the different teams were there. Funny, they all know what A's Cast is. And a couple of them we just had on the show. Jeff Levering from the Brewers was there. The guy we had on from the Royals.
Jake Eisenberg.
He was there with his wife. So it was funny. They're like, hey, I was just on your show. Good to see you in person. So, yeah, folks, they all know about A's Cast, everybody in baseball. And all asking questions and everything. So we love us some A's Cast. We had the owners party on Saturday night, which was a lot of fun getting everybody together, the entire A's family together, and the players getting ready to go. The vibe down at spring training, I can't say it enough. This team is different. But you know what, though? Saying that, you do have to realize that when you do a rebuild, there is going to be a bottom. There is, right? We saw it yesterday, and you're with the White Sox. You know, the White Sox were a team that a lot of people kept picking to win the Central. Look at the talent. Look at the talent. And it just, bad clubhouse. Things didn't work out. Tony La Russa didn't work out. Saw Tony La Russa, the Hall of Famer yesterday, A's Hall of Famer and Baseball Hall of Famer. He was at the ballpark yesterday. Got to say hello to Tony. But they're about to hit that. Every team that says, you know what, we're gonna remake this thing, you're gonna hit a bottom. And last year was the bottom for the A's. Well, you know, your guy Drake, you start from the bottom, you know.
Now we're here.
There you go.
Thank you.
You got to go up, right?
Where's Drake from?
That would be Canada. He's from Toronto, and I can't remember the number. See, I can't remember the number he's from.
The 6.
The 6. Now, I don't get that. Is that every province have a number? Is that what it is?
I think that's just the start of the
area code.
The area code, yeah.
Or is every province is, you know, Saskatchewan's the 3?
Yeah, that's a quick question. I don't know what it is in Alberta.
I was in Winnipeg.
I don't know what it is in Saskatchewan.
When I was in Winnipeg with the Raiders, they didn't go, "Hey, we're the 8." So I have no idea. But yeah, and I can tell you yesterday, and no offense to anybody, but when you get a player, you know, because I forget that we are on inside the kitchen in the clubhouse. no offense to anybody, but it's hard not to be excited when JD Davis shows up. And that's just, it's the business. This is a business. And the way the A's operate is with a lot of patience. And the A's showed a lot of patience this offseason. And they do every year. And you sit and you wait. And that's one thing that, we can bring that up when we're in Nashville at the winter meetings to say, hey, everybody, slow down. We don't fish in the pond that is the winter meetings. David Forst sits and waits. Because, guys, things are going to happen. Crazy things. And the whole J.D. Davis story that Andrew Baggerly did a great job covering this. And he kind of educated a lot of us in The Athletic about how it went down. I didn't realize that when you go to arbitration and you present your case, the team presents their case, if you win as a player, that salary is not guaranteed. Now, when you negotiate with the team and you agree on a number before the hearing in front of the arbiter, when you agree, say, all right, we'll make it $6.5 million. That now is guaranteed for the season. But when the arbiter rules in your favor as a player, I wonder how many players know this. This is something that's in the collective bargaining agreement. The players agreed to this with the owners. So everything that the Giants did with JD was on the up and up according to the CBA. Now, I'm not going to give you my opinion because I'm not a contract lawyer. I'm not into CBAs. You and I are just two guys talking. But according to Andrew Baggerly, who, covering the Giants for The Athletic, dug into this situation, it looks a little bit shady. Now, his sources are going to come from a pro player side. Supposedly the Giants gave one number, and it was right before the number. There's a deadline that both parties, team, player, have to submit a number. And normally they talk it out well before that time. I want $7 million. Well, we'll offer you 5 point something. And then you want to not go to a hearing, and you want to bring that number somewhere in the middle, and then you guys agree on it, shake hands, let's go get him this season. Because I know David Forst will tell us this. Billy Beane told us this for years. They don't want to go to these hearings. You don't want to go in there and say negative things about the player. Because players are human beings, and they take that with them. They leave. They leave with animosity, and you don't want that. It's better to come up with a number. If you have to give a couple extra 100,000, give it and let's go. But the Giants, according to this article, once again, I'm trying to keep A's Cast out of this. I'm just going off what's been reported. That the Giants literally put out an offer right before, so there wasn't going to be any of the traditional, let's go back and forth. They put out a number real quick, and then after that, they bumped the number up a couple 100,000, and then they went to the hearing. So they really didn't want the dialogue, that dialogue before, and you work a number out. They didn't want that. And then they knew that, they'd put him through waivers. Hopefully someone claims and they take the salary. No one did it. Okay, we'll just release them, and they save a bunch of money. He won whatever 6.9 or whatever it was, and they end up having to only pay him 1.1. That's a big savings. And then people in this article are quoted saying, man, you don't see that a lot. And they thought that wasn't a great way to be doing business, even though, as this article says, Farhan scrambled to do a media thing, and in the end said, hey, we didn't do anything. And that's always a little indicator when you want to make sure you let everybody know we didn't do anything against the CBA. Like, I don't know that you'd really need to tell the media that, but you felt you needed to let everybody know, hey, what we did is in the CBA. Kind of tells you a little bit, but once again, I'm just going out off the article. I take it as this. I feel bad for them because I want players to get all the money that they can get. But I will turn around and tell you, you're telling me a solid 3B with 20-plus bomb potential and a major chip on his shoulder is coming to Oakland? Are you telling me you won't take that?
Yeah, I mean, he's 30 years old, which, fine.
Well, he's going to be 31 this coming
I think April, yeah. But he had 248 last year, 18 home runs. I'll take that. I mean, decent OPS, 738. Good OPS plus, 103. My league average, 100. I'll take that. I mean, he was one of the Giants' better players last year. And now he coming in, as you mentioned, 1-year deal, can build up some equity and maybe get some more money in the offseason next year.
Chip on his shoulder. Cal State Fullerton guy, so obviously looks up to Mark Kotze. I don't know what that means, but sounds good. Mark Kotze, obviously one of the Cal State Fullerton. They are the
Tritons?
Ooh, you're in the ballpark.
Oh,
not the Centurions.
Yeah, I don't
you're
know.
In the ballpark.
Yeah, I don't know their mascot.
Titans.
Okay. Who's the Tritons?
I have no idea.
No.
What's a UCSD?
Okay, that's right. Okay.
But he mentioned, when you go to Cal State Fullerton, there's names there like Mark Kotze, Phil Nevin. These guys were basically the Heisman Trophy winners of college baseball, winning the Golden Spikes Award. So you're getting a player that's got a chip on his shoulder, and I like it.
I wonder if him and Chapman overlap there at all.
Yeah, they played together.
Because I know they're around the same age, but Chapman's drafted a little later.
Signs and JD. I mean, obviously we learned this when he's playing with the Giants. Is he from Elk Grove?
Elk Grove, yeah,
right below Sac. So I dig it. And what was a perceived? There was a competition at third. Jordan Diaz got a lot of play, was sent down. Now you're looking at Abraham Toro, and you're looking at Daryl Hernandez, who, by the way, got to really talk with Hernandez at the owner's party, which was cool. Great kid. Told him, hey, man, we talk a lot about you. You're the future. Good to see Nick Allen back in the lineup today. That's kind of some news there, but, hopefully I talked to Nick at the party. He thinks he's going to be ready for opening day. But now that gives you a third baseman. And I asked Eric Martins about him defensively. And, of course, Eric Martins says, wait till I get my hands on him. But he says, yeah, the metrics say he's a pretty decent third baseman. And now you let a guru like Martins get with him, make him even better. Saw him yesterday, moves pretty well. That's just another addition right before the start of the season. So one thing that you looked at, like, who's going to play third? Well, now you got a third baseman. And that kind of changes the dynamic. Because it's nice to have somebody that has been there and done that. Because they're probably going to carry 6 outfielders.
I would say now we're still trying to figure out that roster crunch of how we're going to figure out 13 position players. So 6 outfielders, and you got obviously Noda, Geloff, Allen, and J.D. Davis. That's 4. You got Langoliers and
room for one guy.
Yeah, and you're trying to figure out who's going to be the backup catcher now with Soderstrom going down. So between McCann and Carlos
you're going to have
Perez.
2. You're going to have 2.
Yeah.
So you just start doing the math. You're going to have room for one. Let's just call it a guy who can play on the left side and second base. Because I joked yesterday in the broadcast, we've got 1 million guys to play first base. First base is obviously Ryan Noda is the starter. Big fan. We are of Ryan Noda since the Rule 5 pick from the Dodgers. He's been our guy since the first interview. We love Noda. Expect a big year out of him. But first base is covered. We've got so many guys to play first base now if you're going to carry all these outfielders. Seth Brown can play a really good first base. Andujar can play first base. God, at some point, Lemus Diaz will come back. He can play first base. Who can't play first? Rooker, I bet, can play first base if you needed him to.
Locke can play first base.
Locke,
because he has.
Has he?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody can play first base. So if anything happens at first base, we've got that position covered.
And if anything happens, Soderstrom can play first base as well.
I was joking. Johnny could go down and play first base.
All right, now you're.
I mean, we got it covered. But yeah, you're gonna have. Well, we don't know. We don't know. We don't. Are they really going to carry 6 guys in the outfield? Martin Gallegos from MLB.com on the 16th put out an article of the roster he thought, because you can make it look like it's 5 outfielders and with a DH, but all 6 of them, the 5 outfielders in the DH, they're all outfielders.
Yeah. And then now, it's leaning more towards, it looks like he had it earlier today that Aletmus probably won't be ready for the start of the season. So he'll probably start on the injured list. So there's a spot that's open right there. But it comes down to Toro and Hernandez pretty much is who the 2 guys fighting for that last roster spot for position players. So you got what? You got 4 games or 5 games in Arizona left, right? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5.
Saturday's the last
5,
game.
and then you got the 2 Bay Bridge games, and then here we go, 10 days from now.
Well, and if you had to handicap it, Hernandez is young, and you need him to play every day.
He's 22, so yeah, you can put him down and have him hitting AAA.
And I know he wouldn't want to hear that, and I, no doubt, totally understand that. But Hernandez needs to play. He needs to get at bats. Tyler Soderstrom, didn't want to say it yesterday on the broadcast, but it was like, this is going to be the last time we're seeing him. He can't sit the bench. He needs to hit. Young players need to play. They need to hit every day. Sitting them and making them role players is not for their growth. You want to think what's best for them, the player, long term. If they're not going to play every day, well, then you need to find a spot where they do go play every day, and they may not be there long. But Hernandez, obviously, they love him, and he's hopefully a huge part of the A's future going forward. But I wouldn't be shocked if you're just having to handicap it. Now, a lot can happen from here till Bay Bridge. Saw it last year. Kept talking about, well, what are you going to do with Pache? He's out of options. Didn't think they'd get rid of him. But, yeah, you can see Hernandez going back to Las Vegas and Toro being the guy that will say, okay, you're going to be the utility guy. But Toro traditionally is second base, third base. And you got Nick Allen, who's been dealing with a little bit of a back issue.
So you need someone that's able to play short, which...
Who would that be? How much time? Look at that. How much time has Toro played at short?
Okay.
I know most of his time. Most of his snaps, as they would say in the NFL, have been at second base and then third base. Those are the 2 most.
I don't think he's ever played short in the major leagues. He's never played. He's played everywhere but shortstop and catcher.
So are we going to go into a season without a short backup shortstop?
It's a very
Can Law play short?
I
bet you if you ask Lawrence Butler, could he play short? Towny, I got it.
Oh, I mean, the kid has confidence. There's no doubt.
How about J.J. Blade? My guy, J.J. Blade.
No. J.D. Davis has never played short, I don't think, in Major League Baseball.
I don't know. Has he?
Let's see. That's a good question. I don't know if he ever did with the Mets.
How about J.J. Blade, a lefty shortstop like Don Mattingly? Seth Brown's got a pretty good glove and a hose. Put him.
J.D. Davis has played everywhere. He's played in first. He's played outfield. He's played third. He's pitched, but he's never played short.
He's pitched. How many games?
3 games, 2 2/3 innings.
J.D. Davis in the bullpen in case we need him.
Following Kotze's footsteps.
I mentioned yesterday about Urseg. I would have Urseg still taking ABs. This guy was a competent AAA hitter with power. Who knows? You get in a long game, short benches these days. I would feel confident with Lucas Ursig up at the plate, knowing that last time I checked, I think he had 15 bombs in AAA.
Yeah, and
that's no joke.
And there's 35 guys left in camp with the moves yesterday. And Martine reported earlier today that all 35 guys remaining in big league camp will be playing in the 2 exhibition games next week as well. So guys
coming down to the end.
Yeah, so guys so here's the lineup today against the DBacks.
Does Toro have options?
Let's take a look. He might have one. So I remember. I mean, obviously we know Hernandez does, but I don't know about Toro. Let me take a look.
But I mean, maybe Toro has played shortstop in the minor leagues, so you're not worried about it. I don't know.
No options. And he is playing third today in the lineup.
Okay.
He's at third. Allen's at short. J.D. Davis DHing. Brownie in right. Rooker in left. Esty in center. Kyle McCann catching. Logan Davidson at first. Hoy Park at second with Ross Stripling on the mound. And it's funny, what you mentioned the other day, you were talking about having a left-handed hitting catcher coming off the bench as a pinch hitter. Kyle McCann could be that guy if he ends up winning.
He's not on the 40-man.
If he ends up winning the backup.
Is he on the 40-man? I don't think he's on the 40-man.
I have to double check. I thought he might have been because he was in the Rule 5 draft. I don't know if they have the 40-man roster updated yet.
Yeah, they have it updated. We got it every day while we were down there.
He doesn't think he's on there. Yeah. So
I don't think he's on the 40-man.
Yeah, so you're going to have to take someone off, obviously, to put him on.
And then you could bring up, what are you going to do with Sodi long term?
That's what's the phrase? That's the $64,000 question, or I don't know, $1 million, whatever question you want to ask.
Go down, start raking.
Yeah.
Just go down. I wish I could have talked to Tyler on the way. Just go down, start raking. But what are you going to, Langoliers is the guy behind the dish, and he's got a long way to go, right? Langoliers is the guy. So if Sodi just starts raking and the light turns on and you think this kid can mash, what are you going to do with him?
I hate to say DH because you don't want a kid that's 22 DHing.
No, and you're not a backup catcher. I mean, you got to figure out.
Can he play third? Can he play in the outfield?
This would be the time, right? If you're going to do something with him that's not catching, this is the time. Send him back down, start raking, and you're playing whatever you want to play.
Send him back down to the leader of men. And
Fran Reardon, rebuilder of men.
Yeah, Fran will get him in check. It's a shame when you get a chance to see Fran lead the young roster, the breakout roster on Friday. But hopefully Soderstrom goes down there and rebounds and becomes the guy that the A's thought he was going to be when they took him in the first round.
Anthony Castrovince, MLB.com, one of the top baseball writers, joins us next right here on A's Cast Live.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, join your team this spring in Mesa. With nonstop flights direct from Oakland, there's never been a better time to head to the Southwest. Surrounded by the stunning Sonoran Desert, spring training fans know why Arizona is the perfect spring break escape. Miles of trails, shoreline, and sunshine combined for an unforgettable Arizona adventure. There's simply no shortage of things to do, see, and discover in Mesa. Get your visitor's guide at visitmesa.com.
Ever since we got Xfinity, we have Wi-Fi all over the house, even in my hiding spots.
Ha! Found you.
How?
That's wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Now through March 21st, get started with 200 megabit internet for $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract and get Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Requires paperless bill and auto-pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary.
This is Chris Townsend. There are two things that are a must for me: comfort and style. Whether I'm playing golf, going to dinner, I've got to have the right feel. That's why I've partnered with Linksole, and you're going to love Linksole. They have just released their new spring line, new fabrics for their polos, lightweight and perfect for technical performance. Linksole also has new styles for their layers and hoodies with cool prints and seasonal colors. You know what they say in the big leagues: look good, play good. Go to linksole.com. That's linksole.com.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
Zach Giloff joined Towny on A's Cast Live and discussed his goals for spring training.
I think just keep building on what I've done and just my routines and sticking to it. I think, being on the field is super important. That's the only way you can, add to the team. So for me, it's just going to be keep building on the routines that I think I found that worked well for me last year. Keep building on them and, staying super competitive and try to have that winning, baseball player mentality every day.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
This is Chris Townsend, and if you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see my friends at the Chicken Pie Shop at Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
Nestled in the hills of San Jose, minutes from Silicon Valley, Cinnabar Hills Golf Club offers 27 holes of championship golf, a first-class pro shop, practice facility, and great food in the grill. This time of year also means family and business get-togethers. Let the folks at Cinnabar Hills make your event unforgettable while enjoying their award-winning venue. It's all there for you. Championship golf, a great space for any events, and incredible food. See it all at CinnabarHills.com. That's CinnabarHills.com.
Unlock offers and receive exclusive in-game features by downloading the MLB Ballpark app for iPhone and Android today. Plus, get the latest information on game times, schedules, and more.
And the underdogs Oakland Athletics win their first championship since they were in Philadelphia in 1930.
Hi, I'm Raleigh Fingers, Hall of Famer, three-time World Series champion with the Oakland A's and World Series MVP. Winning takes teamwork, skill, and heart. So when you need an ace for a personal injury lawyer that will win you the game, go with the winning team. Call Venardi Zerata at 833-VZ-for-me or go to vzlawfirm.com. Venardi Zerata, the official injury law firm of the Oakland A's.
Streaming from the studio, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
How was your St. Patty's Day?
I didn't do anything. My friend had a birthday the day before, so we went out and celebrated her birthday in Campbell for brunch, and that was really about it. Sat at home, did a little bit of work for today, and then that was really about it. Watched some bad hockey for about a period, and then the Sharks blew it. They gave up 5 straight goals, and
people were partying in Arizona.
That makes sense. I mean, it's a big time to party.
Going large. Arizona, man. Scottsdale. If you're young and single, Scottsdale's a great place to be. We're out Friday was my birthday. We were cruising around Scottsdale. It's a party town. Scottsdale, Arizona, Tempe, where Arizona State is. People are getting it done. Our next guest, we talk about it all the time. He's the author of A Fan's Guide to Baseball Analytics. If you're going into the season and you're like, well, I guess this is the year, I'll really get into it. I want to know more about it. I want to learn about it. We'll hold up the book here. I know he's on the phone, but we'll hold his book up right here, as I always do when he comes on. A great read, easy read to teach you a lot. Oh, he's on video?
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize he was there. So let's do that. Hold on. That's all right. Here we go.
Well, there you are. What's happening?
Hey, all right. It worked. How you doing?
Great. We're just holding up the book. I think it would be
thank you.
A great read for somebody who goes, this is the season. I'm actually going to get into analytics. I want to know more about it. So with that, if I was to ask you, what's the number one offensive and what's the number one defensive metric that you look at? I know it's tough to do that for a player, but
yeah,
if you have to give me one offensive, one pitching, what would it be?
For offense, I'd go either OPS plus on Baseball Reference or weighted runs created plus on Fangraphs. They're two variations of the same basic idea where 100 is league average. And so it's a good snapshot of where a guy is relative to the rest of the league. Defense is obviously trickier. In the time since my book came out, outs above average that we have at MLB.com via StatCast, the baseball savant site that we have, that's become a lot more nuanced. And at the time I wrote the book, it was only available for the outfield. Now it's for outfield and infield. It's still not available for catchers, so that gets a little tricky. So defense is always like the trickiest thing to tabulate statistically, and you can get some, you can get different sources might have wildly different ideas of the same player. But one thing that's more consistent, I guess, that because it is available for catchers as well, as defensive runs saved. So I'll often turn to that as well. You can find that at Baseball Reference.
What do you go with pitching wise?
Pitching wise is similar to me as offense, where I like ERA plus because I like a snapshot of where a guy is performing relative to the rest of the league. And of course, and they're also adjusted for their ballparks, which matters, 30 home runs in, take Camden Yards now that they moved the left field wall, that's a lot different than 30 home runs in the Bronx. So you just have to always take those factors into account. And I also like how you can compare eras where, so to know a guy was 20% better than league average is important versus knowing his home run total because, things change over the course of time where it might be more of a home run environment. It might be less of a home run environment. So you don't always know what 20 home runs means, but you always know what 20% better than league average means.
Well, yesterday was a great example. I was down calling the game. I just got back from spring training last night, calling the game yesterday, and there were 2 home runs out to right field by right-handed hitters that barely got out, which you have to say, in Oakland, in most ballparks, that's an easy fly ball out. So the ballpark thing, to me, plays a lot. Especially for hitters, but I think more importantly for pitchers. Where are you pitching? I mean, pitching in Cincinnati versus pitching here in Oakland or San Francisco, I mean, you talk about dramatically different.
Yeah, well, I wish we had these adjusted context stats for the Cactus League because that's also its own world. The high sky and the ball flies out there. So we know that spring training in general, the numbers are not to be trusted, but that's especially true in Arizona.
How do you feel about where it takes me back to like Machado and Harper signing so late, but this Montgomery and Snell, this is ridiculous. I mean, we're going to break camp Saturday and then come back. It's the Bay Bridge series and you're starting your season.
Yeah.
And they're starting to remind me of when there was a box that was wrapped underneath the Christmas tree on Christmas Day, and you opened it up, and there was just a picture of the toy because Mom says it's not here yet. The toy's not going to be here till January something. I mean, even if you sign those guys right now, I don't know when they're going to be able to pitch. I mean, what is going on? We've got a guy who won the Cy Young Award who's still sitting at home and doesn't have a team.
That's funny. I just pulled that ruse on not ruse, but I just had to pull that on my wife for her birthday 2 months ago, and the present just arrived last week. So, but yeah, it is crazy.
It'll be here.
But I think there was some thought with Snell and Montgomery in particular that we'll get into camp and guys will start getting hurt and teams will be desperate and those markets will come to fruition. Well, the first part happened, right? It always does. Guys got hurt, prominent guys on prominent teams, but yeah, those guys are still lingering out there. They've maintained high price tags as is their right, but we're in a difficult position now when it comes to ramping up for the season, for pitching. That's the really difficult thing to do where they're obviously going to miss spring training. So now they'll have to do, once they sign, they'll probably go to some extended camp and some minor league time. And it's just not an ideal way to begin your season and your new tenure with a, potentially new team. I don't know what to say other than, those guys do have some inconsistent track records. Montgomery was terrific last year for the Cardinals and Rangers. But had some ups and downs leading up to that. And Snell, I mean, you can't get more extreme track record than him, where it's either a Cy Young or a guy who just has trouble keeping guys off the base paths, and he doesn't go deep into a game, so that has to be taken into account as well. So I'm really surprised that they haven't found a landing spot yet, but we've had this happen several times in the recent past with certain free agents where a lot of factors come into play when it comes to free agency, be it draft pick compensation, as is attached to Snell, or just the way the market values you differently than you value yourself. And there's a waiting game that comes with that.
Well, there's one team that to me and everybody else in baseball is fascinating because we are in the entertainment business. A lot of people in our baseball bubble think baseball is different. No, we're in the entertainment business. And nobody right now is more entertaining than the Dodgers. The Dodgers are just flat out entertaining, way above anybody else. They're going to have that rock band status around them now with all the media and, Mookie Betts, and it's the storylines coming out of them, right? All of a sudden, Mookie Betts is going to play shortstop. Now we're hearing Ohtani. Ohtani's starting to throw already. Ohtani could be in the outfield. I mean, when is the last time we've had a team that has generated so much buzz around it?
Boy, I have to think in baseball. I mean, there's certainly, there's teams that just carry a certain weight to them as it is, or, you have like an individual like Aaron Judge coming to town when he was, going after 61, 62. Those are special things, but, going into a season like this, where, as you said, I mean, it's not just about the attention they're going to generate in Los Angeles. It's the national broadcast. They're coming to your town, and all of a sudden you could be, it could be a bad team, but it's going to pack the stands just to see the Dodgers. They are something special. It's something we don't see a lot of in baseball. So I think it's great for the game. I really do. I know it's the payroll disparities in baseball are a real problem, the revenue disparities, but for the Dodgers to be throwing out, probably 3 future Hall of Famers at the top of their lineup in Ohtani and Betts and Freeman, that's special stuff to see. I will be curious though. I mean, how will they handle that pressure? Because baseball is a different sport. 162 games is a real thing, and Los Angeles might be the second largest media market in the country, but it's not the fishbowl that like a New York or a Boston are when it comes to baseball coverage. So these guys are going to have more attention than they've ever had, and more pressure than they've ever had. I don't think it's going to be a big problem. I think they're good enough to run away with the NL West, but when it gets down to crunch time, which is the postseason, as we know, that could be a crapshoot under normal circumstances, let alone when so much is expected of you.
All right, before we get into the A's, I got to ask you about the spring breakout. It was so unfortunate. I was supposed to be on the call for the spring breakout for us against the Giants. We had thunder and lightning. Yeah. So the Giants and the A's were playing at our stadium, the big leaguers, the regular game. And second inning, here comes the rain, then the thunder and lightning, and you pull the guys off. And of course, it got banged. But your thoughts about this? Because I was like, man, this is the one time we talk about these guys ad nauseum, right? Our top 30 prospects. It's the one time we have them all together before we ship them all out. Your thoughts about baseball, building it up, how you thought it went, and could this thing grow?
Yeah, I thought it went great for the first run through, and it's a really great idea because prospect awareness is at a all-time high. It's been building for years now, where sometimes it feels like the prospects are bigger stars than some of the guys at the big league level. They're just because there's that unknown and that excitement of what could be, as opposed to what is, and people gravitate towards that. And also, I think the other thing that's happened in the last few, really just pointed in the last few years, is the timetable from the draft to the big leagues has really accelerated. And, the minor leagues have been scaled back, and, the bus rides that were, the 14-hour bus rides of old, the stuff like that was part of minor league lore in the past. I mean, it's more accelerated path now to get to the big league level, and the game has gotten younger and more athletic and more exciting, and these guys get up here quicker, and Paul Skeens and Dylan Cruz, these were the top 2 picks in the draft last year. They'll probably be up this season with their clubs. So that's special stuff. And so I love, like you said, I mean, it's a real snapshot in time here in spring training where, you can arrange to have them all on the same field. And I know it's difficult for the clubs, especially on the pitching side, because you have to arrange guys' schedules to make them available for this. But I would really love to see it grow from here. I mean, I think the natural idea is to make it a tournament, and maybe put something on the line, maybe a first-round draft pick for the winning team. I mean, how cool would that be? Where you definitely have the interest of some teams then when it comes to playing their best guys, and say, hey, go out and win us a draft pick, because that's good for the organization. So, but yeah, as a first run through, I thought it went really well. You did hear some griping from the teams about trying to schedule things and whatnot, but I think everybody recognizes this is for the greater good, which is promotion of the game, promotion of that next wave of talent.
Yeah, one thing that's a guarantee, teams are going to gripe. We know that. But I got to tell you, you're speaking my language, because we were talking about going, man, this has such buzz that, what if, like, after our game, Giants and A's, whoever goes on, and now they play the winner of the DBacks Rockies or Padres, Mariner, and it's a weekend, right? Like, you could see this could be really, really cool. There's something here. There's definitely something here. Got to ask you about the A's, because you put out your latest article, 1 goal for every team 2024. And I'm noticing the national narrative is playing to, I know what our fan base really cares about right now. It's about the future of where are they going, where are they going to play. But the reality is, having been around this team, and I know this is going to be unpopular to our fan base, and I apologize, but you know what? Our young players don't care. Like, they're going to come back to town, and our local media is going to hammer them with the same thing. These guys are fighting for jobs in the big leagues, and we have really talented young guys. Our team is going to be, and I'm not trying to be a homer here, because if they were going to stink, I'd be honest with you. I've always been honest with you. I don't think they're going to be very good. We're going to be better than people think. These guys are not worried about 2026, 2027, 2020. How many players in spring training now really are even worried about what happens 3, 4, 5 years? Most of these guys are playing for their lives and their jobs right now. So I know you put it in there, and it's a lot about the future. What does this team, or what do these players have to do to get people back on the track of, hey, we're here to compete, we're here to play? It's about this year's team versus everybody always talking about the future.
Yeah, and it's a great point, because I think those guys probably don't care, frankly, where the A's are in 5 years. They care about themselves being in the big leagues in 5 years. And there's a lot of opportunity on that roster. We know that. And I was around the A's a little bit in spring training, and, scouts I talked to said, this looks a lot better this year. I think last year's team was, frankly, just built to fail, and this year's team is more built to see some progression from some interesting players. We started to see the seeds of that last year. Zach Geloff, of course, their infield could look a lot different by the end of this year. A couple of their prospects could be up, and I don't know, they have more of there's a sense of more stability in the rotation, which of course can make all the difference in a season. When you have a Stripling and Wood come in and just give us some innings, just keep us in the game, and that's all I can ask. And give guys a chance to develop in a situation where we're not down 10-0 every day, So I do think it's going to be better. Obviously, it's not a playoff caliber club by any stretch of the imagination, but I do think it's going to be a more stable club, and I think there's a lot of upside on that roster as guys start to figure some things out at the big league level. I wrote something about Asturi Ruiz last week, and just he's shown some power in camp, and he could be an example of just growing at the big league level. It's one thing to get there, it's another thing to stick, and now you have to make the adjustments and to what the league is doing to you, to how your profile plays at the big league level. That's what we're going to see from the A's this year.
Well, the one thing I love when we talk about how this is league average is 100. It's pretty easy, I know. If a guy's at 112 and league average is 100, it makes it real easy. But here's the book, folks, right here. And for everybody listening, A Fan's Guide to Baseball Analytics. If that's something you want to get into this year in baseball, learn more about it, this is just the perfect book for you to get started and to learn about analytics. And as I always say, makes a great gift. Anthony, we always appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of spring training, and we'll talk to you soon during the regular season. You be well.
You too, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Anthony Castrovince, MLB.com. It is. I've read the book. It's a fantastic book. And yeah, OPS plus. All you got to do is say, is he over 100?
Fair, yes.
If he's under 100, you got problems. If he's over 100, boom. What we just talked about right there, I saved it for last. I want to tell you a story. Yesterday, I was in the lobby, just sitting there at the DoubleTree, waiting for Johnny to go to Mike Farron's party. And an A's fan came over to me. It's one of the hotels that a lot of the A's personnel and A's fans stay at. So I'm just sitting in the lobby. I'm on my phone. I'm texting with the family. And this gentleman comes up to me, great guy, a long-time season ticket holder, down there for spring training. Listen, we understand how tough it is. We get it. And we had a long conversation. And we started talking about everything. And I went into how, this is my second go of this, as I did all this before with the Raiders. This is not my first rodeo when it comes to this, with a team going out of state to that town. This is the second time. A lot of people are experiencing this for the first time, but this is my second time. And we talked a lot about it. And I told him, I understand. I understand how you feel. And he's a listener of this program. He watches it, listens to the post-game show. And I know there's a big portion of our fan base, what they want right now. And I understand that baseball, the actual just sport of baseball, is the least of your concern. We understand that. We've not tried to change you. We've not tried to sugarcoat anything. We have stayed with, this show is going to talk baseball. That's what we're going to do. So if this season, that's what you want, we're here for you. Obviously, some you're going to say there's bigger pressing issues. I get that. And this show may not be for you anymore. Totally understand that. I'm not going to speak ill. I know how hard it is on you. Once again, I've seen this with the Raiders, been through it. And we had a great conversation there in the lobby at the DoubleTree. So I just wanted to bring that up today because it was great running into this fan and talking about it, and just, like we say, we go the old Jim Harbaugh route. We control what we can control. You can only control what you can control. And we're going to talk A's baseball in 2024. And as much as these players are going to come back for the Bay Bridge series, and you're going to have people putting mics, and it won't be for a long time. It'll be early because everybody wants to get the story, and the news will come in, and they'll get their cameras in there, and they'll ask the questions, and then they'll go away. And then it'll just be the people who have been around like that. Like you go into our clubhouse now in spring training, there's Martin Gallegos. And for a little bit, John Shea was there. Does the Chronicle even have a dedicated beat writer for the A's?
Not anymore. I think I heard Susan say that she might be doing some stuff like before both teams. So she might be one of her and John Shea might be the Chronicle
writers. She's having a different role, right? So it's and I'm not trying to make anybody angry, but you're in your 20s and you're trying to establish a career, and the news person comes in and asks you about stuff that doesn't pertain to your career right now, what do you expect from these guys? They're about the here, they're about the now, they're about their careers. Where are you going to be in 2028? Who knows what organization you're in? Who knows where you are? Who knows where you are in 26, 27? You're going to ask them questions that they may have. Whatever answer they give you, the real answer is, I'm about my career right now this year. And that's going to upset some people. I get it. We get it. But you got to check back into reality here. These are young professional athletes. And if they're not young, you're trying to keep your career in the big leagues. What does 27, 28 mean to you if you're in your 30s and you're trying to keep your career rolling? This is their job. What do you expect them to say? Everybody wants everybody to fight their battle. And that's not how life works. You may have a battle, but not everybody's going to fight your battle with you. And you can't expect young men trying to have long big league careers to worry about anything other than that day's game in front of them. They're in the here, they're in the now. They don't worry about. Do they worry about their future? No doubt. But you start worrying about your future, your present will go away really quick. It's about performing today, today's game, the numbers today. You and you old baseball people talk about the back of the baseball card. That's what they worry about. So all of this narrative from these national guys who don't want to actually talk about the players, they want to talk about, well, the biggest issue is, well, for who? It's not for the players. Unless some player has some guaranteed contract for 10 years that I don't know about, why would I care about what's going on in 2028? I'm worried about this season. I'm worried about how many at-bats, how many innings, right? He just talked about, hey, you need Stripling, you need Wood, these veteran guys that come in and give you innings. Unless you're signed for a long-term deal, which nobody has, you're in the now. And even if you had a long-term deal, you got to perform in the now. That's how the entertainment business works. I'm sure Taylor Swift's people are worried about where she's performing in 2028, but Taylor Swift's got her concerts right now. You think there's any guy in the National Football League right now who's worried about, you talk about entertainment, the number one entertainment league in the United States of America, the NFL. You think any guy's worried about 2028 now? Because let me tell you something. They can lose their contracts. They can get cut. The only thing guaranteed in the NFL is your signing bonus. You think there's anybody who's worried about 2028 in the NFL?
No. And if people are, I avert you to go check out what Kyle Shanahan said when he was asked about something happening on Sunday. He said, Tim, I think it was Kyle Kami asked him. He goes, Tim, I don't know if we're all going to be here on Sunday. I can't worry about that right now.
That's life of professional sports, man. Yeah. And our media is not getting it. They didn't get it with the Raiders, and they're not getting it again. They don't live in your world, right? They're not, first of all, they're not elected politicians. Players are not elected politicians. No one voted for them. They have no juice in the city. They have no juice in the county. They have no juice in the negotiations. They're not part of ownership. They're just players. And the fact that we expect more out of that is just flat out wrong. And also from the standpoint that we're going to sit here and think that every single thing you talk about is these players in the future. Yeah. Kyle Shanahan of the 49ers who are just in the Super. Get that for me.
I got to find it. I'll find it.
The guy was just in the Super Bowl, and he's saying, I don't even know who's going to be here this week.
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago, but it was such a let me see if I can find it if it pops up.
I mean, oh, so that wasn't recent?
No, it was I can't guarantee anybody in the world will be alive Sunday, so I can't guarantee we'll be on our roster on Sunday. It was 2021.
Yeah, I mean, we got guys that, how many players are going to be cut in the next few days and in the next week?
Yeah.
And you want to bring television cameras in and ask guys during the Bay Bridge series about the future? You want to ask a 22-year-old about 2028? I mean, come on, man. What are we doing here?
It's fair, but it's going to happen.
Oh, I get play to the narrative.
Yeah.
You're going to play to the narrative because you don't give a crap what this 22-year-old thinks. You're about clicks. You're about people watching your news. You're people about watching your YouTube channel, people following you on Twitter. That's what you're all about because you're selfish. Because we in the media are selfish. We work on ratings. Why do you think we follow ambulances in the news? Why do you think every newscast is led with something that's bad and not good?
If it bleeds, it leads. That's what we
negative. But don't expect a 23-year-old who wants a baseball career in Major League Baseball to have your narrative. Because he's not. He's about the now. He's about now. I mean, think about Robert Murray. You think Robert Murray's worried about 2028? He's breaking stories today. He might break a story right now.
I hope so.
Right? I mean,
awesome.
You're probably on your phone today looking at sources.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I was at the gym. I was doing my thing there, and all of a sudden I was getting calls. I was getting texts. People are trying to figure out where the remaining of these free agents are going, and no one knows the answer at this point. It's crazy, but I'm trying to get as much information as possible. Hopefully I can provide some on the show here today. By the way, great to be back with you boys. Sorry we weren't able to do this at the winter meetings. My voice was not in a very good spot.
You sound way better.
I appreciate it. That was painful. That was probably the worst 3 or 4 days I've had in baseball in a very long time. That was bad. That was real bad.
Well, you broke the J.D. Davis. Speaking of breaking stories, you broke the J.D. Davis, and however it turned out in San Francisco, it sounds, all done by the book, the CBA, but some people in baseball think it was a little shady. However it went down, the A's just got themselves an everyday third baseman, which they needed. Talk about the fit, because I like a player coming in with a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, he definitely has a chip on his shoulder. We got to see Farhan Zaidi exploit something in the CBA in parting ways with J.D. Davis. They didn't have to pay him that $6.9 million salary that he ended up earning through a salary arbitration win. And we got to see Davis clearly wasn't happy. His agent, Matt Hannaford, spoke out to some Bay Area reporters and clearly just voiced his frustration. And as soon as he ended up getting released and was on the open market, he attracted interest from a wide range of teams. And the A's ended up presenting an opportunity with, obviously he wasn't going to get the $6.9 million salary, but he was going to end up getting a shot at an everyday job at third base. He was going to end up being paid, a decent salary with a chance to earn more in incentives, but it was the clearest path for consistent playing time. And then he can end up using this as a launching pad for free agency in the future. And then, as you've seen it up close with the A's before, if they have guys perform really well on short-term deals or even sometimes long-term deals, they can use those as trade chips in July. So I think for both sides, it made a lot of sense for the dollar amount, and it made even more sense for the A's. And that's why those two sides ended up coming to terms on a deal.
Yeah, you talk to a lot of agents, you talk a lot of players, and it's something that probably doesn't get brought up enough. But it's like you got 30 teams, and you got multiple teams that are offering whatever they're offering. But, man, I want to play. Who gives me a chance to play? Get me as many at-bats. Get me as many innings. We focus so much on years and money and everything. Man, that ability to be out on the field can be a really heavy deal for a player and make it pretty easy to decide a certain situation that best fits for you.
Oh, 100%. And I think that's something that a lot of people, I can get guilty of this too, is you forget that these players, these athletes, they're human beings, and they want to have a chance at consistent playing time. They want to be where they're most comfortable. And that can be in a different locker room, that can be in a city, that can be wherever. And for Davis, I think this just presented a perfect storm for him, as it gets him that consistent playing time. and he really enjoyed being in San Francisco. Like, that is a place that after it was a rough end to his tenure with the Mets. He went to San Francisco and it gave him a new opportunity. It was a place that he thrived in, was really comfortable in. And obviously now going to Oakland, I mean, that's a hop, skip, and a jump. I mean, that's a perfect opportunity for him. And for the playing time, it wouldn't be surprising at all if he ended up performing really well, considering that chip on his shoulder and plus his talent level, and then ends up getting a pretty decent salary in free agency or in his next contract. I think it was just a really good opportunity. And it's not often you can say that the Mets or that the A's ended up beating out a team like the Mets to sign a free agent, but that was the reality here.
Yeah, you think about playing in New York, so he's been under that pressure, and now you get to come to Oakland where you just go play. You just get to play, and you just get to perform. We've seen so many guys resurrect their careers. I mean, there's been a lot of guys and different, we always look back at Frank Thomas, who was already a star, or someone like Scott Sizemore, who was with the Sugarland Skeeters. The next, he comes to Oakland, he's an all-star again. So this could be big. And this is the one thing I know you heard a little bit there in the background. We just had Anthony Castrovince on from MLB.com, and everybody wants to play this national narrative about the A's and the future and the ballpark. And it's like, I totally understand that, but you got to realize the guys in this clubhouse, especially the young guys, none of these guys are worried about 27 and 28 in that. I mean, they're worried about today's game. They're worried about this spring training game and getting at bats and getting innings in against the D-backs, and the media just does not want to accept that.
No, they don't. And obviously, like, the new stadium and potentially moving to Vegas is a huge storyline, but a lot of these players, and probably all of them, can't be focusing on that because you got to look. This is 2024, and that's a 2027, 2028 issue. Like, how many of these players are actually going to be on the roster come that time, considering how much the A's trade players and move on from players? And yeah, I get why it's such a huge topic in the national media. Like, I'm forced to talk about it too, but I mean, it's just so far ahead, and it can create so much storyline, so much drama. And these players, they're not focusing on it. This is just, they have to focus on their performance. They have to focus on what's going on in the clubhouse, the managers, the coaches, the front office. They got to be focusing on the product that's on the field and trying to maximize it as much as possible for the short and long term. And just getting caught up in that stadium stuff, moving to Vegas and everything that comes with that. If they end up getting caught up in that, that's a very dangerous game for them to play. And if that is the case, then they're already behind.
Yeah, if you get caught up in something like that, then you have no idea what it's like to play for the Yankees or the Mets or the Red Sox. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Seriously. It's been a weird off season, and it continues to be weird. Just how are people in the industry, how are they viewing the issues with the agents, the issues with Scott Boras? Just how is everybody viewing all of this?
I think the word that definitely can just sum it up is frustration. I have not heard. So I've been in baseball for probably about 10 years now, and I can confidently say I've never heard this much frustration. It seems like there's even more frustration going on now from agents or just whatever than there was during the lockout. And it's just.
He just got disconnected. I hope you did you step on something?
No, because we're still there. So I think he might have dropped on his own. There he is. Now he's back.
There he is. All right, you're back.
There we go. I don't know what happened there, but my apologies. My internet, I guess, can be spotty.
You were rolling.
Oh, I was rolling. But I'll tell you, like, this offseason has just been pure frustration for so many of these agents, so many of these players who are left unsigned. And it's just, you hear the frustration of they're all getting similar offers. They're all getting the same indication from teams that they don't have much money to spend. And it's leading to a lot of different thoughts from these people that are still unsigned or for some of these agents. And I truly don't know when these guys are going to end up coming off the board. And I've heard it from countless agents just questioning just how much these teams are actually like trying to win, considering you have Blake Snell, you have Jordan Montgomery, you have Michael Lorenzen, you have Mike Clevenger, Tommy Pham. I mean, obviously Michael A. Taylor and Adam Duvall just signed, but I mean, we're talking some veteran major leaguers who can help you win in the present. And it's just truly bizarre what's going on. Obviously, like some of it probably has to deal with, or has to, is a result of, I think, an asking price. Because if you look at Snell, look at Montgomery, they're going to command top dollar. It's just what the caliber of player deserves in that case. But these teams have just not been willing to pay it. And with like Michael Lorenzen, Mike Clevenger, like they're looking for 1-year deals. Clevenger looking for a 1-year deal, from what I'm told. Lorenzen, there's been reports about him seeking a multi-year, but I would imagine in all likelihood it's going to end up being probably a 1-year deal. It's just the state of this market is just wild. It's ridiculous, and the frustration is only continuing to grow. As what is today's date? March 18th, and they're all still unsigned. Opening day is that close.
Yeah,
it's absolutely crazy to me.
Is this something that we're going to see? Because after this, we got 2 more years of the collective bargaining agreement, and then we're going to go through this all over again. Do you see this trend continuing?
I asked that same questions to an agent this morning, and I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on here. Probably not, but he said he sure as heck hopes not. And
sure as S-bomb.
What's that?
Sure as S-bomb. Did he throw the S-bomb? Yep. All right.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you. I'll tell you, if this is what's going to end up happening in next offseason and even the offseason after that, then I think this CBA could end up being the negotiation could be pretty tenuous. It's just this is pretty bad. I've as I said, I've never heard this much frustration, and the fact that these teams aren't willing to spend on guys like Tommy Pham or Adam Duvall or Michael A. Taylor or some of these starting pitchers that are still out there. It's crazy to me. And I mean, if this offseason is what's to come next offseason, then yeah, boy, I'll tell you, the frustration is just going to reach a boiling point.
Yeah, when you have players that ask for too much, owners in the past would give in. Now owners are not giving in. It's really got a recipe for disaster out there. And the thing that everybody can use right now is the whole television money thing, right? They go, television money. We don't have as much television money. And the Bally's thing has really allowed a lot of teams to play the we don't have money card.
Oh, it's been a lot of them. And it's even been the World Series champion Texas Rangers. Like they're crying poor after after winning the World Series and not having a TV deal long term. They have it secured for this year, but long term, it's up in the air. And even the TV money for this year was less than they had hoped for. And everyone and their mother entering this offseason thought they were going to end up re-signing Jordan Montgomery, but he's still out there on March 18th right now with seemingly no end in sight. And it's like, where does Montgomery go? I mean, that's a whole other issue. But the TV money thing coming into the offseason, I knew it was going to be a big deal because you heard it from all sorts of different people, just like asking like, hey, what's the latest on this and that? And oh crap, we're going to be screwed if this doesn't get situated. And all of a sudden it dragged out into the offseason. And we're still hearing about the concerns now, even today, just for like the long-term uncertainty. And it's what's held up a lot of these big names from being signed. And it just, I have no idea when these guys are going to sign or what they're going to end up getting. But the fact that they're still out there, one, underscores just how serious that TV issue or TV deal issue was. And two, just how crazy this offseason has really been.
All right, going into this year, what are the storylines? What are the things out there that excite you and get you pumped up for this season?
Oh man, there's so much. Like if you obviously I got to start with the Dodgers. I mean, that's just a case of a team spending more and having a roster that looks like an all-star team. It is absolutely crazy to me. Just how stacked that team is. There's still some issues. That shortstop position, I'm telling you, if their season has some issues starting like at the start of the year, I think we're going to look back at the shortstop issue and just be like, oh crap, they have to do something. Was it Willie Adames? Is it who do they go out and get? That I don't know. But another one that I'm really curious to see is Craig Counsell in Chicago. I think that's something that has been kind of under talked about a little bit. Maybe I might be alone on that one, but his impact in Chicago, like David Ross, good manager. I don't want to paint him in a negative way, but Craig Counsell is the best in-game manager, best manager of people that I have come across so far. I mean, he's just really talented. They think he's so much more than just an elite bullpen manager. And I think his impact is going to be felt there. And I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe they end up making another splash in free agency with these guys that are still inside. I'd probably call it unlikely, but who knows? And I think another one that I'm watching here is the state of the AL East and just how unique that division is. And obviously the Yankees, they went out and got Juan Soto. They ended up trading a bunch of their young pitchers. They got Marcus Stroman, which I think was the biggest shocker of the offseason. And then you have other teams. I mean, the Rays, who are always good despite a low payroll. I'm kind of low on the Red Sox just for how little they've spent. I could go on a rant about that one. I mean, that's a huge market team, and they're crying poor. They're not spending big on free agents.
How is that possible? They're rolling in dough.
It's crazy. It's like, I don't get it. And the fact that this offseason has reached a point where, well, for the Red Sox, I should say, where they went and we're saying that it's going to go full throttle, we're going to be spending, and then they take back the comments immediately. And you hear from different people that have talked to the Red Sox, yeah, they're not going to be doing that much. They're crying poor. They're not doing much to improve their team. Like, I think a guy like a Michael Taylor or an Adam Duvall or a Tommy Pham made sense for them. I still think they make sense. But I have not heard much buzz there at all. And it's crazy to me. Frustrating. It's sad because it's a franchise as storied as the Red Sox should not be crying poor like that. That doesn't sit well with me. But I think those are the three things that I'm watching the most. And there's a lot of different storylines that can be watched entering the season here.
Yeah, that Central is it's going to be, normally we're not, the Central, but it's like, well, I mean, you can make a case. I mean, my man Cody here, Derek Shelton and the Pirates look out. I mean, people are loving the Reds. Cardinals think they're going to be back. We'll see what the Brewers can do without Craig Counsell. So that's going to be interesting. I also just think a guy that's been, he was linked with Billy Beane as the longest tenured guys, Brian Cashman. Cashman's under a lot of heat, and there was a lot of stress last year, and they're not used to being bad. And boy, no Garrett Cole for a while, at least for a while. And you know how this always ends up. Like all of a sudden, maybe he does have to have Tommy John surgery. If you had to bet, if I threw it out there right now, yes or no, Brian Cashman is still running the Yankees after this season, would you bet yes or no?
That is a brutal question. This is why you're paid the big bucks. I mean, that's about as tough of a question as there is. And
it's a really tough one because there's generations of people that have grown up in New York, and Brian Cashman their entire lives has been running the Yankees.
Yeah. Like if it was me, like, okay, so he's been there so long, he's survived so much, and that front office or that ownership clearly believes in Cashman. And if I was betting on what I think they do, I'd say he probably stays. If the season goes south and they miss the playoffs or are eliminated early, I think I would part ways. And this is why is I always come back to the Theo Epstein 10-year rule. And he was like, if you're spending 10 years in a place, your ideas are probably going to get stale. And it's best for the team and the person in the long haul to part ways and try to find something new to just stay fresh. And he's been there for 20 plus years at this point, and he's survived a lot. And last season obviously was really frustrating for them. They went all in to get Juan Soto. They parted with a lot of their young pitching. Then they lost Garrett Cole for 1 to 2 months here in the spring, and it puts a lot of pressure on that rotation. And let me tell you, people are connecting them to Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery. Like, do I think it's impossible? No, but they also, to sign them, they have to pay 110% tax. And I mean, we're talking possibly like $60 million a year, including that tax, to sign one of those guys. And it's just, I can't see them doing that. And it's put that front office in a really tough spot. And I see the vision for the Yankees for sure, but could it blow up and make that season just look terrible? Oh, absolutely. And if it goes absolutely terribly, then I think that Cashman could end up being on the move. But I think it would take a lot for him to go. And I don't think it'll get to that point. And I bet you he's back next year, but I'm not confident in that answer.
Well, Bean got hired. Billy Bean was hired at the end of 97, and then Cashman got hired early in 1998. They were the two longest. Obviously, Bean is in a different role now. But 1998, that is a long, long time to run any, whether we're talking basketball, football, hockey, let alone a team in New York.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I was 2 years old when he got hired. I mean,
here you go.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Your entire lifetime, basically, he's been running the Yankees.
Oh, 100%. I'll tell you, that's crazy. Since I've been 2. And he's been there 26 years. And I mean, that speaks to his success that's been in New York. And obviously he's done a lot of good things, won a lot. And I think he's a surefire Hall of Famer. I bet you I'll get some push.
No doubt.
And I bet you some people in New York will push back on that and be like, oh, yeah, he's not a Hall of Famer. And he's a Hall of Famer. And I think if this is his last year in New York, he should absolutely be celebrated because he's done a lot of good there. But 26 years in one place, that doesn't happen for a lot of these executives, because you see how it's in the National Football League. It's not for long. You can say that for all these sports. And Cashman should be celebrated. And I don't know if there's ever going to be another Brian Cashman where someone is there for 26 years.
All right, let's end on this as you're one of the movers and shakers in our game. Give me a big, bold prediction for 2024. Big and bold.
Big and bold. Okay, I'll give this one to you. The Dodgers don't make the World Series. Is that bold?
People are going to be very upset.
Yeah. Okay.
You spend $1.2 billion. You're going to easily win your division. Yeah. I like it.
Is that bold enough?
That's bold. That's big and
All
bold.
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like it. I'm going to give you some time to think about that one. I love big, bold predictions.
There we go. Okay.
I like it.
I'll come back with something even more bold this next time.
When Cody said he's lost his voice, he can't come on. Because winter meetings, you've got so much information going. It's like, oh, my God. But it's great to have you back on. I'm glad the voice is good. You know how much we love following you. And we're always waiting to see the next thing you break. Of course, for our fans, J.D. Davis, you're the man who broke the story.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys being patient with me, because I'll tell you, the winter meetings, usually you get the most information at the bars at like 11 or 12 at night. I was going to bed at 8 o'clock because I was hurting. I was hurting real bad. But I appreciate you guys being so good to me, for having me on, being so supportive. Appreciate it more, and I'll talk to you guys here soon.
All right, be well. Take care.
Hey, you as well. Appreciate you.
That guy's breaking stories like you wouldn't believe. Yeah, at the winter meetings, he had no voice. Like, literally could not. When I saw him, you told me, and I saw him, and he's like, he was not.
Yeah, he came up to
me.
He
had nothing. Like, vocal cords had nothing. Like, he couldn't even do, like, he was gone.
I think you were talking, I think it might have been when you were talking to Chi. In that little
the great Chad
area.
Pender. I forgot, we got to get Chi on.
In that little area there, and Robert came up to me, and I was like, what? Huh? Like, I had to, bend over. Like, I already can't hear as it is, but, I couldn't hear what he's saying, and then he was like, I don't have a voice.
I got you Chad Pender's number.
Yeah.
Chad Pender's going to become an agent. It's going to be cool. Good for him.
That's a
new career.
The bold prediction on the Dodgers that's bold. I was waiting for them to be
they're the favorites.
Yeah.
By a lot. Like, the only other team that you could honestly say, if it's not them, it's the Braves.
Yes. There's some people out there still think.
But as we know, you get in the playoffs, anything can happen. But right now where we are, Braves are actually still the favorite, aren't they?
I was going to say, there are people who still think the Braves are the better team.
Long way to go. But
the season hasn't even started yet.
But what happens when all of a sudden Buehler's back, Kershaw's back,
Gingergaard?
Dustin May. What happens when these dudes all come back, and all of a sudden you're like, oh wow,
Mookie's playing Gold Glove shortstop.
Oh wow. Gavin Lux now is the guy they thought. And all of a sudden they're smoking their division by 15 games and everybody's loving him.
Somehow Otani's back on the mound throwing at the end of the year.
Ohtani could be in the outfield this year. Did you see that?
Yes. I mean,
news coming out of Korea.
There's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, the game. I mean, they start on Wednesday.
Dude, Ohtani is such an incredible athlete. It would be awesome to see him play in the outfield. 6'5", runs like a deer. I want to see him play center.
Would be pretty great.
Robbing home runs.
But your guy's out there. Your guy James Outman.
The kid from the peninsula, San Mateo.
Take a hike, move to one of the corner spots. We got Ohtani. Well, Ohtani has a good arm. Put him in.
He's 6'5", right? Or is he 6'4" or 6'5"? I think he's 6'5".
Who? Ohtani?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's 6'4".
You imagine how many home runs he could rob? He's got to have incredible leaps. His speed is he's arguably the fastest guy in baseball. If we got up there and ran the 40-yard dash, he's as fast as anybody in the game at 6'4". You don't think he could go back and leap like a deer and go over and rob home runs? I'd love to see Ohtani in the outfield. I'd like to see Ohtani play every day in the outfield and scratch pitching, or just have him come in and close.
I'd love that idea.
Come in, close people out, but be out in center field. Shohei Ohtani as a center fielder would be badass.
So he plays,
and I hate the Dodgers. I hate the Dodgers. I'd like to see that.
He plays 7 innings in the field. He goes and warms up in the 8th and comes out for the 9th.
Oh, come on!
Defensive replacement every
starter
time.
Stuff. Shohei Ohtani, center. You know what? He'd be Mark Kotze.
Yeah.
When I played against Mark Kotze at Cal State Fullerton, Mark Kotze wore you out playing center field, and then he'd come in and blow 96 and close the games out.
He can maybe play.
Mark Kotze is one of the greatest college baseball players of all time.
You can have Ohtani if he doesn't want to play in the outfield. Have him go, give Freddie Freeman a day off at first and play.
How about
first.
Ohtani play short? He's like Cal Ripken.
Well, yeah, he's
now
tall.
That. Mookie
back to second.
Move Mookie to second and Shohei Ohtani at short. That, don't talk about blowing your mind.
That's a bold prediction. Mookie Betts will win a Gold Glove at shortstop.
He'd be like A-Rod, Cal Ripken. He'd be more like A-Rod because Cal wasn't the greatest athlete. He was a good athlete, but Cal wasn't known for his speed. Young A-Rod could run.
Yeah, he was. A-Rod was a good player.
Yeah, A-Rod was
This is A-Rod pre-performance enhancing.
Wow, you went there.
Well, it was a loosey-goosey era. It's what A-Rod told me.
Who said young A-Rod wasn't on it?
Ooh, he was kind of small.
No, he was a pretty decent-sized guy for being that young.
Yeah, that's fair. The more I think about it, I just remember him as like a teenager.
Remember how young A-Rod was when he got 200 hits? Young A-Rod was
20.
He was 20. Yeah, he got 200 hits. He was a decent-sized kid. All right, coming up next, we head to the Valley of the Sun. We're getting you ready for the ball game. Snakes and A's. Is it Ho-Ho-Cam?
No, it's
Salt Lake.
Salt River.
Salt River. Salt Lake.
What are we playing? The Jazz?
Well, Karl Malone, Stockton, it's a tough matchup. Yeah. Detloff Shrimp.
John Starks. Jerry Sloan.
What was the sharpshooter? His daughter's on television now. Hornacek.
Oh.
Jeff Hornacek. Don't come at me with your Utah Jazz.
Didn't Pistol Pete play in Utah?
He was a New Orleans Jazz.
Oh, yeah, okay. I remember being on the Jazz.
Played. He might have been in the move, but wasn't he a New Orleans Jazz?
Yeah, yes, because he played at LSU, so it would make sense that he would play down there.
Maybe coming up next, Know Your Jazz right here on A's Cast.
This is Chris Townsend. There are two things that are a must for me: comfort and style. Whether I'm playing golf, going to dinner, I've got to have the right feel. That's why I've partnered with Linksole, and you're going to love Linksole. They have just released their new spring line, new fabrics for their polos, lightweight and perfect for technical performance. Linksole also has new styles for their layers and hoodies with cool prints and seasonal colors. You know what they say in the big leagues: look good, play good. Go to linksole.com. That's linksole.com.
This is Chris Townsend, and if you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see my friends at the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
Zach Geloff was on A's Cast Live and detailed what he's been working on this offseason.
I think the offseason is crucial because taking care of your body is, I think, the most important. So in the weight room, eating well, sleeping well is something that I took priority over, along with the baseball side now, getting closer to spring training. So make sure I'm doing running and a lot of baseball stuff, doing machine work and all that stuff. So I think ultimately taking care of my body, try to get bigger, faster, stronger. And, the ultimate goal is just to stay on the field.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.ascast.
Ever since we got Xfinity, we have Wi-Fi all over the house, even in my hiding spots.
Ha! Found you.
How?
That's wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Now through March 21st, get started with 200 megabit internet for $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract and get Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Requires paperless bill and auto-pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary.
A's first base coach Bobby Crosby was on A's Cast Live and explained why he believes the A's can surprise everyone in 2024.
I think Soderstrom with a fresh start is going to be awesome. I think Butler with a fresh start is going to be awesome. Geloff continue what he's going to do. We have a lot of interesting pieces and a lot of talent that once these guys feel maybe a little bit more comfortable, get their feet wet, it could be really interesting. I think our pitching staff is going to be really good. So, I think we could surprise some people. I think, I know how Kotz manages. I know how he's respected. I know how he wants things done the right way. And I think these guys are going to feed off it. I think we're going to continue to grow and continue to get better. And I think we'll surprise people. I think it'll be really good.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/AsCast.
Nestled in the hills of San Jose, minutes from Silicon Valley, Cinnabar Hills Golf Club offers 27 holes of championship golf, a first-class pro shop, practice facility, and great food in the grill. This time of year also means family and business get-togethers. Let the folks at Cinnabar Hills make your event unforgettable while enjoying their award-winning venue. It's all there for you. Championship golf, a great space for any events, and incredible food. See it all at CinnabarHills.com. That's CinnabarHills.com.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, join your team this spring in Mesa. With nonstop flights direct from Oakland, there's never been a better time to head to the Southwest. Surrounded by the stunning Sonoran Desert, spring training fans know why Arizona is the perfect spring break escape. Miles of trails, shoreline, and sunshine combined for an unforgettable Arizona adventure. There's simply no shortage of things to do, see, and discover in Mesa. Get your visitor's guide at visitmesa.com.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
A's Cast Live continues from the studio. Here's Chris Townsend.
All righty. We're heading to the Valley of the Sun to get you ready for the Snakes. And who the hell is that?
I'm Johnny Doskow. What are you talking about?
How did Johnny
much better looking version than Johnny Doskow.
I hate to say it, Johnny, but yes, it is a much better looking for shit. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to my new really good friend. You know, you really learn about people when you're in a time of need and people go out to make sure that you're taken care of. People like that are lifelong friends. And then there's other people who they're about the bigger, better deal. The BBD, baby, bigger, better deal. And if they get a bigger, better deal, they'll leave you out in the cold. They'll leave you out in the rain. That's not what Chris Caray. Chris Caray is a young man that was raised right. We have his father on the program. We love his father. He was raised the way you're supposed to raise a son, with respect and loyalty. My new family friend. I don't care where our careers go. I don't care where the paths take us. Anybody ever says to me, "Hey, what about that Chris Caray?" I'm going to say, "I love that guy. That's my dude."
Because he was actually raised right. He was actually raised right, right? He was raised right.
The other guys on our broadcast team, the hell with them. I am all about Chris Caray. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. How could I not be after that wonderful warm welcome? It's good to see you after what? What has it been? About 15 hours since we last saw each other?
He was there for me, Cody. Cody wasn't there for me on my birthday. Chris Caray was there for me on my birthday. Cody still hasn't gotten me anything and still owes me a bet. More importantly, how are you? You ready for the game?
Great. I'm great. Right here, beautiful Salt River Fields, a place that I got to see last year for the first time when I was with the AA affiliate of the DBacks. It's a little different, a little more daunting calling a major league game here at spring training and putting that headset on next to Johnny Doskow. This place was awesome when my brother and I did the Arizona Fall League here, and now there are a lot more people, and the game's going to be a lot of fun.
You know, it's so interesting about that field. It feels like you're at a big league ballpark. It's just like they just didn't finish it. It's like they went down the lines with it and then just stopped. Like if you kept going all the way around, you could have the feel of a small big league ballpark. I mean, I know it's not exactly brand new, but it looks brand new. It's for all fans that go to spring training. If there's one field, I like Sloan in this one. If away from our field, Sloan where the Cubs are, and this one they're spectacular.
I'm with you 100% of the way. I also love the almost full around berm. I think it shows a unique fan experience, and the berm goes up so high. It's this massive hill. But another thing about this stadium, it's not just big for the seats. It's just a big stadium and a big field in general. You have the high walls in left, 345 at left and right. You got to get the ball pretty good to get the ball out of here. And there's a lot of talent that comes through here. Obviously, the Rockies and the DBacks share this facility, and it's a lot of fun to be able to call games here. I don't know how they share it, though. I would be very, very possessive of this place if I was the DBacks.
No doubt. You'd be like, you're the Rockies. Get the hell – and share with somebody in your own division. Which
right, yeah, no.
Which is unique, right? Because, the Padres share with the Mariners. I mean, it's no big deal. I mean, sharing with somebody in your division is kind of odd. I need to allow people, if you don't know who this guy is, he is one of the new television broadcasters for NBC Sports California, basically going to be calling half the games. He's going to be doing the majority of the home games. Just, when this thing gets rolling, how excited are you for this opportunity? I know we talked to you earlier in spring training. That was a long time ago, but you've now had time to be around the team, around the players. It's got to sink in probably a lot more than the last time we talked to you. Just how fired up are you for the start of the season?
Towny, I'm still getting settled in. Sitting next to Johnny has been awesome, and getting to call my first game next to him after – his experience in the minor leagues and his reputation and him really taking me under his wing, and you as well doing this. It's all coming together, and it's all getting really, really real very fast. Obviously, I'm stoked. I'm super excited. I think this team's going to be a lot better than people think that they are, and they're showing that throughout the spring. A lot of players that are non-roster invitees and guys in the 40-man that have had a lot of time in AAA are showing their skill sets here and making it hard for the everyday guys. So that's always good to have a lot of depth and getting to be embraced by the A's. Obviously, going to the owners' dinner earlier and and NBC has been a true dream come true. And I hope that the job that I do reflects how passionate I am about the Oakland A's and NBC and everything that we are trying to do in 2024 and moving forward.
You know, what's great is you're like a college football team. You're not getting any preseason. Like, you're coming in, you're ranked, your first game, you got to perform. You're coming right. We're going to get you a little radio, get you a little warmed up. But your first TV game is going to be you got no preseason. That's how college football is. You don't get a preseason opener. You kick it off and it's prime time. Let's go.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I'll do you one better. A lot of the opening games for college football in the SEC, where I went to Georgia, we'd play teams like Akron, the smaller school teams. That's not going to be the case for me. Come April 12th, I'm going to be on regional sports television for the first time in my life against a major league team with a lot of history in the Washington Nationals. So it's all coming together. It's basically the equivalent of if Georgia decided to play in Atlanta at a neutral site against Ohio State in game 1. That's how I'm equating it.
Yeah, you're not getting a body bag game.
No.
And neither is Ginny. Ginny got what, an inning and a half? She got rained out, so it's like she's gonna, her one preseason game turned into like an inning, so she's gonna get it going. But you guys are gonna be great. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But we play a game with Johnny, and it's always know your. And we flipped the script on Friday for my birthday where we got the commander. We flipped it on him. We didn't know your Pirates, where he absolutely failed. He looked like the biggest deer in the headlights when he couldn't answer questions. Johnny and I it was probably the most fun I've had all spring, was watching the commander just wilt the pressure. So today, since you used to work in the Diamondback system, we will be bringing back Know Your Snakes, Know Your Diamondbacks. Cody, are you ready?
I am, and good to see you, Chris.
Cody, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Hope you're well, too. But, yes, I'm ready if you are.
You ready?
I'm ready to roll.
All right.
All right, first one, this is a softball. What is the name of the Diamondbacks stadium?
Chase Field.
All right, there you go.
Softball, I like it. Get them warmed up.
All right. Who were the co-MVPs of the 2001 World Series?
Oh. This is I was 2 years old.
It does not matter. Come on.
Luis Gonzalez?
That's incorrect.
Oh, wow.
Give you a clue, they're both pitchers.
Come on, man.
Okay, Randy Johnson's one of them.
That's correct.
And then who was in Arizona? Was Clemens in Arizona then?
Oh, my God.
No, and that's another former Red Sox, though. That'd be the great Kurt Schilling.
Schilling and Johnson.
One of the greatest postseason pitchers of all time.
I guess we didn't talk about that in Amarillo.
We talked about a lot of minor league baseball.
All right. No, you
major league guys are asking me so many major league questions from not even my era.
Wait, hey, Cody got a question from 1907.
Yeah, I didn't know who the first guy to throw a no-hitter in Pirates history was in 1907.
Got to know your team's
okay,
history.
Yeah, that's a little different. I probably should know the co-MVPs of the 2001 World Series, the only World Series the Diamondbacks have won.
That's factual.
Okay, here's one. Who's the first D-back to throw a perfect game?
It's got to be Randy, right?
There it is. Randy, way to get back on track.
That's kind of a softball.
Yeah, Randy against the Braves in 2004. Yeah. Okay. Which manager, former Diamondbacks manager, once walked Barry Bonds with the bases loaded?
It was here in San Francisco, I believe, at Candlestick Park.
Now MLB Network analyst.
No time.
Now MLB Network analyst.
Why are you giving hints?
I'm doing all this. Buck Martinez?
Buck Martinez, Blue Jays, not Snakes, Blue Jays.
This guy was just hired. You're close. You got the first name right.
He once managed the Orioles.
Buck
and the Yankees.
There it is. And the Mets. And the Mets.
And
most
recently
recently.
the Mets. All right.
The MLB Network just announced they brought him back today.
Yeah, I'm already failing this, guys. This reminds me of college.
Okay. Who was the D-backs manager when they won the World Series? I mean, he might be there right now on the broadcast booth.
Well, I was going to say, is it Bob Brenly?
There you go.
I always trip myself up. I always trip myself up about this because they always talk about Bob Brenly as the broadcaster, not as the manager. But he was an excellent manager as well. You know, fun fact, I haven't met him yet. He's not here, but we almost crossed paths last time when I was here for spring training last year. But he was sick the one day that I showed up, and so I saw Luis Gonzalez instead. And Luis Gonzalez and my dad have obviously when he was playing for the Cubs, he has triplets. So his triplets and my twin brother and I would always be together, and it was a weird connection. He's super great.
Yeah, Gonzo's friend of the program. We love us some Gonzo.
Okay. The Diamondbacks have had 3 Manager of the Year award winners. Who are they?
3 Manager of the Year award. Yeah. Well, Brenly probably won it, right?
No.
For winning a World Series with an expansion team? Yeah,
They'll have A's tie somehow.
Yeah, I have no idea.
That'd be Bob Melvin.
Bob Melvin's one of them.
Kirk Gibson.
Okay.
And the winningest manager in Diamondbacks history, Torey Lovello. All right. Okay.
Now, you worked in the Diamondback system, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
The Diamondbacks have had 1 Rookie of the Year winner. Who am I?
Well, we were just having this debate, just this conversation. My favorite person in the game of baseball, on and off the field. I think he's a top 3 position player in the game right now, and I don't think it's particularly close. Corbin Carroll.
Correct. Corbin Carroll's correct. Okay.
So we should have played Know Your New Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Let's just say that I haven't started thinking, actively thinking, since about 15 years old. So about 2015 on, just give me something. Maybe I'll be able to do it.
Oh, so you probably won't know this one, but when the A's traded Dan Herron to the D-backs, can you name any of the players they got back from Arizona?
Dan Herron to the D-backs. Any of the players they got back?
One of my all-time favorites.
Dan Herron to the D-back. Eric Burns?
No. Burns went there after Oakland.
Burns went after.
This is tough because you were probably like 5 years old or so.
You weren't grinding MLB trade rumors when you were a little kid?
No, guys. You know, contrary to popular belief, I'm not a big historian on this. Obviously,
it's okay. I was a freshman in college when this trade happened. So
you said this was supposed to be fun, Johnny. This is a welcome introduction to all the A's fans. Great, he does not know anything about the team that he worked for the last.
We're giving you the World Series years.
We're so excited. This is great.
All right, one of the guys is Cargo. Carlos Gonzalez was one of them.
Okay, so Alec Thomas. I believe Alec Thomas, their everyday center fielder now, has the exact same swing as Carlos Gonzalez.
Oh, that's high praise because Cargo had a nice swing, especially playing at Coors Field.
That's high praise.
It is, yeah. Last one. This is okay. We'll see how well you know this.
I give him this one.
Who is the all-time leader in WAR with the Arizona Diamondbacks?
Paul Goldschmidt.
There you go.
It's a way to end it on a high note.
There you go.
I'm not going to ask you who the Diamondbacks beat for their first win in franchise history.
So I probably got 2 out of 8.
You got Chase Field.
You got Chase.
Yeah, you know what? It's like the SAT.
You got Randy Johnson.
You sign your name, you get 600 points.
You got a couple. You got Corbin Carroll.
Yeah.
I got the obvious ones, guys. Let's not beat around the bush here.
You weren't as bad as Johnny when we played Know Your Who. There was one who's really bad with. Was it the Angels?
Oh yeah, he wasn't very good at Know Your Dodgers, and he's a Dodger fan growing up.
We should do a new segment. Very obscure, especially since we're on A's Cast. Are you smarter than a former 2-year employee of the Diamondbacks AA affiliate? The answers may surprise you.
You could come back on us and say who is Amarillo Who are they?
The Sod Poodles?
Know your Sod Poodles. You could do that against Cody and I.
Okay, no, I got one for you. Esteury Ruiz. What was the AA team that he played for 2 years ago?
It was the Padres, right?
Oh, it's not my favorite, the Chihuahuas. That's AAA. One of the greatest mascots in the history of American sports. The El Paso Chihuahuas. Who's the AA for the Padres?
It was the Padres, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Who is their AA affiliate?
No clue.
And they play in Texas, too, right?
Yes.
What part of Texas? Texas is a big state.
Okay, I'll cut it in half. East. It's probably better to say south. If you cut the state in half, it's south.
They're El Paso, aren't they?
No.
El Paso's AAA.
Oh, that's right. Never mind. Yeah, it's AAA.
Well, they're not in College Station. They're not in Houston. They're not Baylor's in Waco. Are they in Waco? That's all south.
Great town. Great town.
Galveston.
Nope, big town.
Galveston's a fun town.
Big town.
San Antonio.
San
Antonio.
What is it?
The Riverwalk.
The Riverwalk. That's right. Yeah.
He played under legendary minor league manager Philip Wellman. If you
I'm
know
going
anything,
to say David Robinson or Tim Duncan.
Victor Wembanyama.
Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker.
Okay. Patty Mills.
George Gervin.
St. Mary's.
The Iceman.
Kawhi Leonard.
All right, so
San Diego State.
San Antonio. The San Antonio. I keep thinking Spurs, but I believe that might be an NBA team.
I think you're correct.
San Antonio Gunslingers. Is it a cowboy name?
No, it's not really a.
Is it an animal?
No. It's named after a human profession, I believe.
Rough Riders.
No.
That was the Arena League.
I don't know if you're going to get this.
Is that Canadian football?
All right, how about we do a game of finish the sentence?
All right.
When somebody's doing something really well, you say he is on a
heater.
No.
Terror.
When they're trying to find purpose in what they do. When you don't want to talk to anybody, want to get to the grocery store really fast. You're on a what?
Mission.
The San Antonio Missions.
That's the best they came up with? You got any name, like all the great AA names, you come up with the Mission?
Hey,
well,
take it up with them.
Hey, at least they made up for it, the Padres did with the El Paso Chihuahuas. Would you admit?
Yeah.
And you realize, like, they have trouble keeping their merch in stock, the Chihuahuas.
I love all the names, the Akron Rubber Ducks, the Amarillo Sod Poodles, the El Paso Chihuahuas, the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers have an alternate identity called the Wisconsin Udder Tuggers.
Oh, where are we going with that?
It's like when you milk a cow, you're tugging the udder of the cow.
Do they make merch for that?
Yes.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
We had the Amarillo calf fries. If you know what a calf fry is, it's the Texas version of a Rocky Mountain oyster.
Ooh, no. But some people may.
Yep. It's nice to indulge every once in a while, gentlemen.
Well, I got to tell you, like I said, from here on out, no matter whatever happens in our lives and where our paths go, someone says Chris Caray, I say wonderful human being.
Towny, I appreciate it from you, and I appreciate it from our renegade here that has gotten only one answer wrong ever about the Pirates. I will say this. You can say that you love me and that you care about me, but at the end of the day, I hope you spread the good word and say that I went 2 for 9 on Arizona Diamondbacks questions being a former employee in the organization. I hope that you spread that word.
No. You're gold to me. Johnny, dead to me. You're gold to me. Have a great call today. Yeah, you.
No, hey Johnny. No,
Johnny had a free meal somewhere, so he had no time for me on my birthday because he was getting a free meal.
Hey, Commander. I had plans a long time ago, and Towny knows it. Happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what's up. I don't care.
Hey, you know what? You know what someone said? We got Vivek Ranadive's credit card. Johnny was like, "I'm there."
Johnny, know your Rangers tomorrow.
I know. I'll be there.
Johnny would have done better than me on the Diamondbacks trivia.
No, I don't.
The guy's on a heater all the time. He's on a mission right now. Call back to the
All
game.
right,
I'm really excited to go, guys.
Have a good call today.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. Great job as always. And thank you for making me look foolish. This is amazing. I hope for many more times.
See ya.
We'll get going, and thank you so much.
I have the most strikeouts in Texas Rangers history.
Nolan Ryan.
I wore number 34, and it's retired for the Texas Rangers.
Nolan Ryan.
I own a bank, a cattle company. I'm the most popular Ranger of all time.
Ryan Common Nolan.
Big Tex. I am the biggest star ever in Houston and in Arlington, Texas. I got an education at Farron's thing about man, it's an interesting little property they got there in Arlington where the ballpark is in Jerry World, the Dallas Cowboys. It's like Jerry owns what he's got, the Rangers got what they got, and it's interesting. A dynamic. Being neighbors with the Dallas Cowboys, who are such a massive entity. The Cowboys are, I don't know if anybody's bigger in American sports. Is anybody bigger than the Dallas Cowboys?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, they've got when Jerry goes, and Jerry's like 87, 88, Jerry, and God bless him, the guy's still running things. I mean, Jerry Jones, I had an interesting conversation with John Fisher talking about Jerry Jones, the owner's party, by the way. Jerry Jones, the property they've got their own training camp that has hotel. I don't know if there's anybody that owns as much stuff as the Dallas Cowboys do. Can you imagine being their neighbor and sharing kind of a property with them? What a tough situation that would be.
They do their training camp in Southern California, right?
They will do some in Oxnard, but they have
right.
a training camp, I guess, in Plano or wherever the hell it is, where they've got a whole convention center there and hotel, and they've got this gym that overlooks the players' practice. I mean, the Cowboys own massive amounts of stuff. They're huge. They're the Dallas Cowboys. How many Super Bowls they won recently?
Do we want? Do you want to troll the Niners and say as many as the Niners?
Whoa! Don't even troll the Raiders because it's even worse. We've got A's baseball coming your way next. Snakes. Who's pitching?
Ross Stripling today.
Nicky Knox, Nicky Pie Shop is in the lineup. Nick Allen, that's good. Put the lineup up quick. What do we got?
We still got a couple minutes. It's a 1:10 start, so we got Nick Allen at short, J.D. Davis at DH.
It's a 1:10 start?
Yeah, Seth Brown at right and
All right. You know what? When we come back, we'll look over this lineup next right here on A's Cast Live.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, join your team this spring in Mesa. With nonstop flights direct from Oakland, there's never been a better time to head to the Southwest. Surrounded by the stunning Sonoran Desert, spring training fans know why Arizona is the perfect spring break escape. Miles of trails, shoreline, and sunshine combined for an unforgettable Arizona adventure. There's simply no shortage of things to do, see, and discover in Mesa. Get your visitor's guide at visitmesa.com.
This is Chris Townsend. There are two things that are a must for me: comfort and style. Whether I'm playing golf, going to dinner, I've got to have the right feel. That's why I've partnered with Linksole, and you're going to love Linksole. They have just released their new spring line, new fabrics for their polos, lightweight and perfect for technical performance. Linksole also has new styles for their layers and hoodies with cool prints and seasonal colors. You know what they say in the big leagues: look good, play good. Go to linksole.com. That's linksole.com.
A's manager Mark Kotsay was on A's Cast Live at the winter meetings and discussed the culture being built by the young A's.
I think we do have a collection of talent
that the A's fans saw come together really in August and September. If you look at the first half of the year, we were staring at history. Zach Geloff showed up and a couple others, kind of changed the culture. The next group that came, the Soderstrom Butler group, kind of recognized how difficult the big leagues really are. I think the culture that was built in September amongst this young group is going to continue forward in spring training. They're going to continue to challenge each other. They're going to continue to hold each other accountable, which is all the right things to build going forward for winning ball club.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
Ever since we got Xfinity, we have Wi-Fi all over the house, even in my hiding spots.
Ha! Found you.
How?
That's wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Now through March 21st, get started with 200 megabit internet for $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract and get Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Requires paperless bill and auto-pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary.
If you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see our friends at the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try the world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
Unlock offers and receive exclusive in-game features by downloading the MLB Ballpark app for iPhone and Android today. Plus, get the latest information on game times, schedules, and more.
Nestled in the hills of San Jose, minutes from Silicon Valley, Cinnabar Hills Golf Club offers 27 holes of championship golf, a first-class pro shop, practice facility, and great food in the grill. This time of year also means family and business get-togethers. Let the folks at Cinnabar Hills make your event unforgettable while enjoying their award-winning venue. It's all there for you. Championship golf, a great space for any events, and incredible food. See it all at CinnabarHills.com. That's CinnabarHills.com.
Become an A's insider today. Visit athletics.com/newsletter and sign up to receive the latest team highlights, up-to-date news, features, and more, all delivered free to your inbox. That's athletics.com/newsletter.
A's Cast Live continues from the studio. Here's Chris Townsend.
All right, tomorrow, remind me, I got a thing I got to talk about the Rays owner. Some interesting things out of St. Petersburg.
Stu Sternberg, I believe, is the Rays owner.
All right, put that lineup up. Oh, what's the other thing you got for me tomorrow?
Oh, real quick before we go.
Oh, I like this.
MLB Power Rankings, baseball's 5 best rivalries for 2024 and why the Yankees and Red Sox missed the cut.
Did they tell ESPN?
Oh, I don't know. Someone better get Hembo on the phone.
I mean, ESPN, if you're not going to show Yankees, Red Sox, I mean, there's going to be panic at the worldwide leader. All righty, good news to see Nick Allen playing shortstop. Also good news, I love J.D. Davis wearing number 5 in honor of my guy, George Brett. Looking at the lineup, looking at McCann, that's an interesting thing. What are you going to do with him? He's a left-handed bat. Or Pena. Somebody's got to be the backup catcher. Ross Stripling getting his innings in there.
And we're getting close. 10 days till the season starts.
You see, it would look good yesterday.
Yeah.
Would look good. You know who also looked really good yesterday? Danny Jimenez. So when you start talking about, Mason Miller, he looked good also yesterday. Like, let's say the A's get on a little heater early and they start winning some games. Mason Miller's not going to be able to close out every night. Got Danny Jimenez there who has that experience, and he's healthy. So you got multiple guys in that pen that get it done, but Danny Jimenez looked sharp yesterday. That was good news. A's baseball coming your way. We're back tomorrow at 11 o'clock. It's the A's and the Snakes from Salt River Field. We'll talk to everybody tomorrow, but enjoy baseball next. Johnny and Chris on the call.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, join your team this spring in Mesa. With nonstop flights direct from Oakland, there's never been a better time to head to the Southwest. Surrounded by the stunning Sonoran Desert, spring training fans know why Arizona is the perfect spring break escape. Miles of trails, shoreline, and sunshine combined for an unforgettable Arizona adventure. There's simply no shortage of things to do, see, and discover in Mesa. Get your visitor's guide at visitmesa.com.
This has been a presentation of the Oakland Athletics.